certain that we have seamless communication and coordination. As you probably know, about an hour ago, President Trump declared a nationwide public health emergency, and I certainly thank him for that. This is a very serious situation that demands the full attention of our nation and our state. There was a lot of information that was delivered just a short time ago and a lot of information to unpack, and I'm not going to have an awful lot to comment on from that press conference that just concluded. Suffice it for now to say that all of our state agencies will be digging into the information that was provided to find out how we can take full advantage as soon as possible for the state of Louisiana. An update on the testing that we have. As of right now, we have 36 presumed positive cases of coronavirus in Louisiana. Those cases are spread across 8 parishes. That is 13 new cases since yesterday, and the new parishes include St. Bernard, St. Charles, and Terrebonne. As we've noted before, there's a community spread of COVID-19 in New Orleans and potentially beyond. We know that there is one cluster of cases at Lambeth House here in New Orleans, which is both a nursing home and assisted living facility. Obviously, this is a very serious situation for our entire state, and it requires serious action. We've said this before and cannot stress enough. Those who are most vulnerable to COVID-19 are our elderly and those with chronic health conditions. And that is why yesterday steps were taken to limit non-essential visitation to hospitals, nursing homes, state prisons, and parish jails. But younger people play a role too. While you may not have symptoms, you could spread the illness to those who will, and I implore you to stay home if you are even slightly sick, and that's the entire population. Don't go to work. You know, it's time to be good neighbors to one another, and this is one of the things about being neighborly. So the proclamation that I issued does the following. In an effort to reduce and limit the spread of COVID-19 in Louisiana and to preserve the health and safety of all members of the public, all gatherings of 250 people or more between Friday, March 13th, 2020 and Monday, April the 13th of 2020 shall be postponed or canceled. This applies only to gatherings in a single space at the same time where individuals will be in close proximity to one another. It does not apply to normal operations at locations like airports, medical facilities, shopping centers or malls, office buildings, restaurants, factories, manufacturing facilities, grocery or department stores. For example, please go to the grocery store if you need to. Go to the mall. Go to the pharmacy. However, if you are in a high-risk category, meaning you are elderly or have an underlying health condition, think twice about going out, and if you do, please practice social distancing. This provision may be extended beyond Monday, April 13th, 2020 by further order should the circumstances warrant that. To be very clear, and I think this will probably get to some questions before you ask them, this prohibition does apply to churches and houses of worship with congregations that exceed 250 in a single service. However, churches and places of worship can engage in multiple services and bring the number of people in them below 250. It is important, and this is probably the one time a week where we know that the most number of elderly people and people with chronic health conditions are sitting in pews next to others for at least an hour. And so while it's a very heavy decision, it was one that was deliberate to include churches in this particular executive order provision. This is in keeping with guidance, by the way. The entire limitation on the size of crowds at these different events, the 250, it is in keeping with guidance from the CDC on community spread. It is to do everything that we can to limit the spread of COVID-19 so that we do what we've been talking about. The peak of cases won't be as high as it otherwise would be, and that we don't create demand on our healthcare providers all at one time. So we spread out that demand over a longer duration. I know also there's a major concern about our schools. Beginning Monday, March 16th, all K through 12 public schools across the state will be closed for 30 days, with classes scheduled to resume on April the 13th. And like all of our announcements, this situation will be reevaluated as we continue to monitor developments. It's important to note that school cafeterias will remain open for as long as possible to provide food for those students who need it. We will give parents and caregivers the opportunity to give the maximum opportunity to parents and caregivers to make arrangements. And we realize that sometimes grandchildren are placed in the care of grandparents when school is out and parents are working. To the maximum extent possible, please work around this situation. Again, the elderly population is most vulnerable, and while children, thankfully, are not impacted nearly as severely as other portions of our population, they do have the ability to spread the coronavirus. So I know that some difficult decisions are going to have to be made, but I'm asking everyone to do the very best that they can to keep themselves and their families safe. All public four-year higher education institutions have announced that they're going to transition to online distance learning. The dates vary at each institution, so I would ask that you all in the public consult with them to get those dates, go online, go to their websites and so forth. As for our two-year institutions, Delgado, to the maximum extent possible, has already started its online classes. All other institutions within the Louisiana Community and Technical College system are preparing to go online as needed and as soon as possible. More information will be coming from the LCTCS system and from those institutions. Given the critical need of our healthcare system, we're encouraging all healthcare organizations to work with our medical students to keep them in their clinical rotations and on the job. Second, while ensuring that state government remains operational, we're going to lessen the need for face-to-face interaction by the public at agencies such as the Office of Motor Vehicles. In addition, each agency is granted the authority to determine if part of its workforce can and should work remotely. I am also directing cabinet secretaries to find ways to reduce the need for in-person meetings with the public and with various stakeholders. We are also asking all state agency heads to identify and maximize opportunities for their employees to use telework while maintaining their normal functions. Thirdly, we are adjusting our election schedule. As recommended by, and because I agree with the Secretary of State, Kyle Ardoin, later today I will sign an executive order to move the April and May elections to the June-July timeframe. This will obviously include the presidential primary. The reasons include taking into account the older age of the majority of precinct volunteers and workers and the need to reduce public contact, and also to allow maximum participation by all voters regardless of their age and their health conditions. Also, the Louisiana Public Service Commission has issued an executive order prohibiting all public utility companies from disconnecting customers for non-payment of utility bills statewide beginning today until further notice. The time for serious action is now, as our presumed positive cases number continue to rise. We must be vigilant to protect all Louisianans, especially as we see cases spread to different parishes. We must come together as Louisianans and do what we do best, and that is be good neighbors to one another, be resilient. We are a state that's been tested and tried many times, and this test, to be sure, is a little different than those that we've faced in the past. But when we unite to help each other, our strength is far greater than we realize. We must be responsible citizens and good neighbors. It's obvious that we're not alone in taking such serious actions. At least 5 other states have made similar announcements today, and yesterday much of the sports world took necessary steps to prevent large gathering and protect fans and athletes. Even Disney World, for example, will close its doors for a period of time. Our colleges are arranging to have online instruction. All of us are considering how to arrange our lives to avoid unnecessary interactions. And I want to take another opportunity to stress the way in which every single Louisianan, everybody in Louisiana right now, these are the things that you can do to help us to make sure that we minimize the spread and the adverse consequences of the coronavirus. Wash your hands frequently and do so for at least 20 seconds with soap and water. And by the way, there's a lot of focus on hand sanitizer. That is not the best method to clean your hands anyway. The best method is soap and water, which remains readily available. So please use it and do that frequently. Cover your cough and sneeze into your arm if necessary. Avoid touching your face as much as possible. Routinely clean and disinfect frequently touched surfaces. Avoid close contact with others and stay home if you are sick. We started a public service announcement campaign with LSU head football coach Ed Orgeron and the U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Jerome Adams. They can be seen on television and heard on radio, and they're also on social media. We ask that you take heed to and share these messages as much as possible. It is my fervent belief that the sooner we minimize the spread of adverse health consequences from coronavirus, that the sooner that we're going to return to the Louisiana way of life and get back to normal. But there is some period of time where we're going to have a new normal. And we expect that these cases will continue to increase for some period of time. And so we want to make sure that the public also has that expectation. But that's also why we're calling upon them to really make sure that they are doing those things that we've asked them to do as a precaution to minimize the spread. So I'm going to be followed now by the mayor, and I want to thank her again for the opportunity to visit you and your team and for the work that you and all of your team is doing.